Thra! I'm Chris Pirillo, and contrary to popular belief, I am interested in far more than just Star Wars stuff. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Dark Crystal. I was lucky enough to have seen it in theaters. I think I was in the 5th grade. Loved the movie. Loved it. Never saw anything like it. And then years later, someone uploaded a copy of The Dark Crystal, black and white mostly, not great. The audio was not great either, but the awesome thing about what was uploaded a few years ago was kind of like a bootleg that I saw, that a few people saw. There was no English spoken at all. It was just the language as it might have been heard on Thra, which is the place where the Dark Crystal happens to be set. I was always fascinated with the Dark Crystal and the magic of puppeteering. I found that bootleg copy to be so nefarious. Wonderful. I wish they would have produced it that way. I understand why they didn't, because it would have confused a lot of people. There were no subtitles. You couldn't tell what the Skeksis were saying, or what the Mystics were saying, or what the Gelfling were saying, or whatever Agra is. They're going to be producing a new series of stories around the Dark Crystal mythology, and I believe in comic form as well. So I'm very much looking forward to those as they are produced. When I heard that Funko was going to be working on, in conjunction with Super 7, a series of Dark Crystal figures. Now, I'm not talking about the pop vinyl, which they did as well. For the most part, when it comes to pop vinyl, I stick just to Star Wars stuff, but I've been fascinated by a few of the reaction figures that have been released, largely from movies and television series that I might have known when I was younger. I was very excited, probably the most excited I've ever been for a reaction figure, specifically the Dark Crystal series. These figures, and this is a card that actually worked out quite well, because the gem, which was affixed very loosely to the front of the card, just slid off. So the card is in pretty decent shape. These, I do believe, were based upon original sculpts, because these were going to be produced, if I'm not mistaken, by Kenner. So they went back and they actually recreated these action figures. They were never made. They were never produced. And I would have always wanted them to be produced, if only because I love aliens, creatures, monsters, these kinds of figures and toys more than anything. And the Dark Crystal is pretty much Thra. You know, this is a world that does not involve a single human being, which I absolutely adore. So another interesting thing that they did, and I'm going to get into showing you my collection, which for the most part may be full unless they continue to produce, and I hope they do. That's my one wish, that they go and they give us all the Skeksis and the Mystics. I want every character. But what's neat is that you get the Dark Crystal. You get the crystal and also the shard. In fact, Jen comes with a shard. Now, you might remember a while ago, I actually got the first release, this is before the general figures were available, of the Landstrider with Jen. This Jen comes with a flute. You can see it's in Jen's hand there. You may be able to see, you may not be able to see it. What's nice about this is that anybody could get it. It was an exclusive, but I knew that they were readily available. That was nice, and I'll get to that, and I'll come back to exclusives and a slight frustration and the answer to that frustration in just a moment. The Landstrider definitely has posable legs. You can also swivel the Landstrider's head, so enough articulation for what you would want the Landstrider to do in a variety of positions. Jen also slightly articulated. You got a slight range of motion with the head, just very, very slight. Arms swivel back and forth. It's a classic 5 POA. And then, of course, the legs swivel back and forth. I'm fine with 5 POA. The one thing about these reaction figures, the sculpts, breathtaking, at least as far as the Dark Crystal are concerned. These things look exactly like they came right out of the movie. The paint application also outstanding. The plastic quality, though, I find lacking. They're using a certain kind of plastic that unfortunately just seems to be very stiff, which isn't horrible, but it creates kind of a feeling of a cheaper type of action figure. I don't have any other way of explaining it. Don't get me wrong, and I shouldn't say this, but I would be paid twice as much to get a Gen action figure even today, just to have the Gen action figure. And the nice thing was, the first Gen that I got, if you saw the Christmas haul video, or I guess the Christmas video, I haven't quite done my personal Christmas haul yet. I know, we're already into 2017. The Gen that I got did not come with, because there's a second Gen, and I'll get to I guess I'll show you now. This is the second Gen. The second Gen is pretty much similar to the first Gen, except that the second Gen comes with a crystal, the shard, that's purple. And the first one I got did not have a shard, so I basically messaged into where I got it from, and I'll be able to put links for you in the video description in case you want to get them. Any one of them. They sent another one and told me to keep the original. So basically, Jedi has her own Gen figure. Now you'll also notice between the two, and I'm just checking here. Yeah, so the sculpts are slightly different. The Gen that comes with the Landstrider has legs a bit splayed out so that he can basically sit atop the Landstrider, and it's a bit of a challenge to get him to stick, and I'm having a problem getting him to stick. This Gen, his legs are closer together. There we go. Let's try that. See, the legs wide. Shaka, when the walls fell. Sorry, wrong fandom. Okay, you are going to stand there, and you are going to lay there. I'm going to move on. This is a base for the crystal, the complete crystal, and you have to get every one of the figures in order to complete the crystal. So that means I had to get a Kira. This is one Kira with a cape. Notice no wings on the back. That is important. The cape appears to be able to come off. I'm not going to remove it. Head swivels. Arms up and down. See, it's a bit stiff. I don't know if you heard that plastic crack. And then the legs move back and forth. There we go. You can see there's Kira's leg inside her little skirt. See, it's a hard plastic. It's soft-ish, but it's harder than what I might have seen or used in the past as far as action figures go. The Kira also comes with a... Sorry, I'm trying to keep it in the light. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. I may need better light in here. It's a fizz gig. Let me get in front of my face. So if you've always wanted a fizz gig, that is more in focus now. This is how you can get a fizz gig. A carded Kira figure. Then we also have Agra. Home gone! Gelfling gone! Nothing but Agra! What was sundered and undone? No, wait. What was sundered? Yeah, undone. Oh. Oh, God. Behold, the two made one. Oh. I can't remember the prophecy. I need to watch the movie again. I remembered enough. Give me credit for that. It's not like I watch it every day. It's not, like that. But like I said, the detail, the paint application, and the sculpt are absolutely breathtaking. There's Agra's base. Agra also comes with this. It's not a piece of the dark crystal, or the crystal. It would be nice to have a playset with her contraption where she's showing off how everything works and how the Great Conjunction would happen and when it happens. A big timepiece. Perfect puppeteering as far as I'm concerned in a movie. Agra, not necessarily my favorite character or figure that I would have wanted, but you need to have an Agra. Her head swivels kind of ish. Not really though. The ones that I really want, Skeksis. Lord Chamberlain. Can't wait for Jedi to watch the Dark Crystal. It's going to be a few years, though. So, Lord Chamberlain comes with, I do believe he comes with a piece of the crystal, as does Agra. They all come with a piece. And I can show you in just a moment, the kind of the checklist again. Sword does come out of Chamberlain's hand. This is the only Skeksis that is currently available. The wrists do not swivel. The head does swivel back and forth. So I would say, again, breathtaking sculpt. A breathtaking paint application. As far as an action figure, produced today is concerned, I couldn't have expected too much more. I just want all of them. But they don't have all of them. They haven't made all of them. Oh man. So cool. I'm probably the only dark crystal nerd out there. Here's a piece of the crystal. And I'd imagine they made it pink, and maybe I could ask a little more about it, if only to be more visible. It's dark-ish. There's another piece. And this piece here fits in the base. So you can actually have a complete crystal. The one thing I did notice, the shard, at least I could not figure out, there's where the crystal cracked. If you can tell, if I can hold it at the right angle there, the shard doesn't fit in. The shard that came with Jen, it does not fit in there. I was a little kind of shocked by that, but that's okay. It's okay. They probably couldn't make it too small or too large. I think they did as good a job as any. I've not yet opened the Mystic, the only Mystic that we have, Ursal. And you can see that it's a large figure. It comes with this crystal, this piece of the crystal on the back. These are all of the current, that I know of, current figures, and I think the same list was on the back of that card. There's a Lance Strider with Jen, which, as I mentioned, was an exclusive. This is not exclusive. I only have one of these, and I'm debating whether or not I'm going to keep Ursal the Mystic inside the box or not, because, I mean, the box is just breathtaking outright. The box art, the way that you could see the character from a variety of angles, they did a fantastic job with this. The one thing that, see, there's the crystal there, that you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They say 5 different pieces. The one thing, oh, wait a minute. I am going to have to open this so I can have a complete crystal. Because see, okay, fine. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. This feels so right and yet so wrong. I know I'm a horrible collector. Maybe I'll get a second one. Maybe. I just want to try to keep the integrity of the box intact. Because please don't rip. Please? Please? Oh, there we go. Did not rip. I actually broke a sweat. Oh, man. Okay. I get a complete crystal. I am going to try to put the crystal together now. Okay, so which piece goes? Maybe. Okay, that piece. Then this piece. You're seeing me complete the crystal for the very first time right now, live on the internet. Come on, admit it. You've always wanted to do something like this. No, if I can get it just right. Is it this way? Hang on. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a trick. There we go. There we go. Got it. Okay. There we go. And then finally, the top. That was the last piece. There. Oops. Maybe. Hang on. It's coming together. There we go. Okay. I have a complete crystal. Well, dark crystal. And then the shard would go in there. There's my crystal. So I'm going to be setting all these figures together, side by side, somewhere in the home. Oh, I need to remove the twisty tie. I'm glad they made it somewhat simple to get these the figures out of their box. Sometimes you get a ton of twisty ties inside of a box for a figure, but they only have one band on this one, so it's very loose. Oh, man. Ugh. Again. Breathtaking. That's the only word I would have to use. I mean, the detail of the sculpt is just astounding. Same kind of plastic. Just absolutely amazing, especially if you're into toy photography, which I'm into. Looking at toy photography. Certainly, that's pretty much my entire social feed. It's dominated by toy photographers. So let's see here. We've got articulation on each of the arms, not the head, but the tail has a slight swivel to it. A Mystic. Let's see if we can get them to come together. Okay, here we go. No, they don't come together. Sorry. I tried. Give me credit for that. I did try. We'll put the Mystic there. Gosh. It's just the detail. Look at the detail. Just look at the detail. Works of art. As far as I'm concerned, works of art. Very few things get me excited anymore, but I guess the Dark Crystal figures are things that get me excited. So, in doing research, and you might have noticed on the back of the card, there was one more set of characters that could be picked up. The problem is they were exclusive, very exclusive, to the point where I cannot or could not find them for less than a few $100s, which was frustrating, maddening, because I would have wanted them if only to have the Gartham. The Gartham right here, or I'm sorry, the Gartham right there, and Kira with wings. We also have another Fizzgig. It is nice to have this, if only because it was a New York Comic Con. Only 500 of them available. Funko 2016. I've mentioned this before. I have done things with Funko in the past. I was very grateful that they helped me attain this copy. The copy of, well, it's not, would you call it a copy? Well, it is. I guess there are only 500 pieces available. 500 of these. So I don't know if there are 500 other fans of the Dark Crystal out there. I'd imagine there are. I don't think I'm going to open this one. As much as I'd like to, I think I'm going to keep everything inside the box for this. But a Gartham! That's the only way to get the Gartham. This is an exclusive in this set or set of figures. And so I basically have a complete set here, which will go somewhere. And I think I'm going to put the independent figures on top of the Gartham box eventually when I find a place for them. And I'm sure Jedi will be asking, what are those? What are those? I don't know if Diana has seen the Dark Crystal. Jedi is incredibly too young to watch the Dark Crystal. I would not show it to her anytime soon. It's very dark. Not hence the title. It's dark. You got to watch out. That crystal, very, very small. That shard, very, very tiny. Do not want to lose that. So, Jen, I think you're going to fall over here. Oh, or not. Okay. I have my Dark Crystal set. Now I need to find where I'm going to be placing this so that all can enjoy and that I can continue to look and admire and enjoy and keep it out of Jedi's reach for now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Funko, for helping complete my collection and for doing this in conjunction with Super 7. I appreciate being able to talk about the Dark Crystal with everybody. I know I'm not the only fan. Very few things would get me this excited here. I love you. I appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.